Who's going to be first, Paul?
Oh, let me see. It's the weekend. Corimano. Okay, so let's bring up. Okay, cool. Kill that. Pop up
Ready yet?
chat. Okay. Okay. So, boop, boop, boop. Kill that. There we go.
I just got done posting my late night or
Oh,
after
did you
after
get the
dark
barker?
ship.
Did you get the barker?
Yeah. I didn't spend as much time on the photos as I should have to lighten them up, but they're still okay. But the video I think turned out okay.
Yeah.
You know, you could spend your whole life just tweaking stuff.
Yeah. I know couldn't be Corimano this morning because he'd probably go racing today.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sunday. It's his race day, right?
Hey, how about Dominic? Yeah, Dominic, he's been in there too early in the morning. Yeah.
I don't know who else is on. I think
Well, Johnny Drone Player, I think, was coming on live. So, and I never see anything with Chris Hope this morning, unless he's just doing it now. Well, okay, we see. Johnny Drone Player, Rodney Bell. Oh, he just saying. Chris Hope was live 16 minutes ago. He's all done though.
I don't think it loaded up last weekend. I lost connection.
Dennis Lovelady, but that was it.
Avanda drone coming out, the FPV drone. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Let me see. TJ's over there. Brad Alton, drone photography, Artco. Not a lot there with him yet this morning, but he just started. Oh, Dominic's over there too. But Dominic, he bounces around, so on several at the same time. Yep. Okay.
did you catch any of Justin's live stream last night?
No, I never.
They went on for a long time.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I was editing the entire time, and finally I got tired and had to go finish. I had to finish the editing this morning of that late night ship because I did two ships, one at dark and one at sunset and one at dark. And I just couldn't handle it last night. I just wasn't feeling all that good, so I went and laid down.
Yeah.
But before I laid down, I was shutting down all my computers, and I checked over there, and they were still going strong. So.
Yeah. No, last night I ended up. Well, there was a little spot out here by my trailer. We dropped some dirt. I'd already raked it and rolled it, but I went back over and scratched it up a little bit more. I put grass seed in it, then I rolled it again.
Yeah.
So might do some more of that today before I go home. Depends on the weather, what it's doing and stuff.
Amy, what you doing?
She determined this morning. Ugh.
As you can see, it's just darn cloudy out there today.
Yep.
It's supposed to stay like that all day today.
Yep. Well, they called for rain, but not until tonight now. So.
Yeah. You're my boo-boo. Yes, you are.
Because of the system, it's going down underneath of us.
Okay. All right. You're a goofball. Yes, you are. You already had your pills this morning. What's Gracie up to?
Oh, she just wants to be on my lap this morning. Thought she'd lay down for a while, but
Where's Vader?
he's right there on the corner of the couch. You can't quite see him. He's on that blanket.
Keeping an eye on you.
Oh yeah, he's looking at me. Oh my God, shut your freaking dogs up over there. Jesus. Yeah, bark, 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 just constant.
Have they always been barkers over there or
Oh
what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. As I said, the neighbors, like, been complaining. They got a notice, I think, from the county about their barking. So. Hey, little llama Laura, good morning.
Morning, Laura's first.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, today, this afternoon, Laura's going to be doing her game show.
Yeah.
It'll be nighttime there, but I think it's around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast.
Yeah. Maybe it was cool today. I'll go up in the roof. I just got a little bit of trimming to do on the. I put that rolled roofing on there yesterday. I got a little corner up here. You just got to trim up there because I just let it overhang.
Okay, so it'd be
yesterday.
3 o'clock East Coast time. All right, Laura.
Yep, 8 o'clock her time.
Yep.
3 o'clock our time. Yeah, he said, after I get off this morning, I'll take these T-bars down and maybe I'll put the ceiling fan together. Sometime this week, I'll have to take a trip up to Norwich and get another panel so I can finish that last wall there.
Okay, I'll show you the one I did. I think the video turned out much better than the photos.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the white lights really blow out the camera.
Yeah. And the ship is red and it looks black. Is this with the Nano?
Yep.
Mm.
Godtown Nano Plus.
Hey, good morning, Marshall.
You can see it kind of waves a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. What time was that, Paul?
About 10, 15, 10:30, somewhere in there.
You see the chat, Paul?
What's it say? Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I go out and do this and you never know what you're gonna catch, especially in the low light, you know?
Yeah.
But that Autel Nano really captures whatever light you do have. In fact, on the end of it here, when I pan around and look out into the dark lake, and you can see the light on the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, there's a nice shot right there.
Yep.
That'd been a nice picture that I just grabbed from that. Yeah. So anyways, good morning there, Sunshine, Arizona. Welcome to the stream.
And the one I did just before that, do you want to see that too, Paul? We haven't got a
Yeah.
lot going on, do we?
No, there's not a lot going on.
Okay, so let me go over here.
Was that the Tatis Suzak or whatever the heck it is?
It is the Atlantic Huron.
Oh, the
And
Atlantic
this one
Huron.
was done with the Mini 3 because it wasn't
Dark yet, eh?
yeah. It was just after sunset.
Yeah.
You screen share. Okay. Well, the front of that ship had banged into something. You know, it appeared to me, to my eyesight, darker than what the camera picked up, a little bit lighter.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm parked right over here. But now check the front of this ship out here, Paul, right here.
Yeah.
It ran into something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's dented in and dented in. It has a lot more lights than the Barker.
Yeah.
I was surprised the Barker was so dark.
Yeah. No. Oh, my goodness. I need another coffee.
Yep. So that was the 2 ships I did last night.
Oh, good. Well, just need another coffee. Oh.
Good morning, sunshine. I'm gonna make you a moderator. Oh. Sunshine, you're just being so kind.
Yeah.
But everybody gets good at what they do as long as you do it more and more and more, you get better at it. It's like,
Yep.
I'm really proud of Filipina. She really works hard at learning how to fly her Air 2S or her Mini S, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a Mini
SE. It's an SE, Paul.
SE. Okay. Yep. So it's probably going to be a slow morning again, Paul.
Oh, well, gonna have them.
But it's August, you know.
Yep, yeah, it's,
Everybody's got a lot of things going on, and
look at me, I've been busy as heck the last couple days, you know. I got 3 signs for tomorrow already.
well, not only your sign business, but you're trying to get caught up on a lot of stuff around either the trailer or the house too.
Oh, yeah, well, the thing is here, you gotta, only time I can do it this time of year, right?
Yeah, and I need to do some painting too, like door jambs and stuff like that outside, going outside.
Mm,
I just don't have the gumption to do it.
yeah, but- and,
I'm planning on maybe September, October, you know.
yeah, yeah. The way the weather is today too, I would like to, well, I'm going to, but got some more raking to do, and then I got some more lawn rolling to do today too, so.
Right. Vader's back there.
Oh, yeah,
Chewing on his leg.
yeah, I gotta get some stuff, they itchy, but they got no fleas. It's just dry skin, I think, so I gotta get some stuff for oil or something for 'em.
Well, do you put oil in their food?
No, I gotta start doing
That
it.
used to work with my Huskies, you know. I just even anything like Wesson oil or a little bit, just a little couple teaspoons in the.
Yeah.
You didn't have to buy that expensive doggy oil. Any
Yeah.
kind of oil you have, vegetable oil.
Yeah, I got vegetable oil, I got that, so, for making my cakes and stuff, but. Hey, no, Dominic is in there, he said he's not first, nope, you're not.
Oh, Sunshine says he gets up every morning early in Arizona at 3 a.m.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't get out of bed unless I have to.
I'm gonna go over and put the screen up for Mia. See if she wants to go out.
Yep, not a problem.
Right back.
No, I didn't get up till what, 7:15, but I was just listening to these dogs next door just bark, 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 bark. She must have took them in because they quieted down finally. Holy jeez. Got 3 large dogs over there, and they just, cause they hear a twig snap, they're bark, 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 just drive me nuts. Oh, like I said, the neighbors have been complaining, and they got a notice from the township about it, but they're still barking. Don't seem to do anything about it. But anyway. I'll be glad to get these 2x4s out of here today. I've replaced the ceiling in my trailer here, and I had to glue up a panel and they're holding it up until the glue dries, and that was about 11 o'clock yesterday, and they said 24 hours, so getting close enough. Well, I'm glad to hear that there, Sunshine. Yeah, mod, you can do a few things. You know, you can SWAT people, block people on the channel and stuff like that. You know, if you don't like their remarks, you know, they're being idiots and stuff like that. But yeah, well, Paul's also got Nightbot, so sometimes we get that porn stuff and it'll grab it and ban them. But and we're off to a really slow start today. This morning, sometimes we get quite a few people on here, so but that's Sunday morning. Oh, I think my sister's coming. Probably bring me breakfast this morning, maybe. Yep. Oh, boy, look at this. Yep, here comes breakfast being served. Wow. Being spoiled again. Okay. Oh, pancakes this morning, by the looks of it. Yeah. Oh, cool. Huh? Yeah, it's pretty quiet right now. Oh, we got waffles. All right, and eggs and bacon. Okay, thank you. Well, I'm good. I'm probably gonna stay here for quite a while today. Yeah, I'll probably go roll out around the front.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna try and finish that.
Well, no, yeah, no panic, but
Okay.
I just thought, well, you know, try to get as much roll as I can while I got the roller before I take it back.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do that too. Part of the thing, Thomas, Sandy was telling me their hydro's out from 6 till 11 today.
Who?
Sandy Lee, their hydro's out from 6 till 11 today.
Oh,
But they're hydro 1, right?
yeah,
So-
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Mm. Hey, Justin.
Why is my volume so low?
Why is it what?
My volume is really low. Oh yeah, I turned
Yeah.
it down last night.
Uh,
I forgot.
I hear you had a pretty good show.
Yeah, it wasn't as busy as like last week, but it was. We
Yeah.
had some. I think we were averaging around like 14 to 17 people.
Mm.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Quite a bit of people came on the panel.
Yeah, I was out putting grass seed down last night, doing more rolling, and I'll be happy here later on and get rid of these pieces of wood here.
Was Paul out flying right now?
You just putting up the screen for so
Oh.
Mia can go in and out without him bothering them. Hey, no problem there, Sunshine.
Let's see who's in there. We got Arizona.
Actually, yeah. I'm gonna go take a look
Marshall, Laura. Who's
Yeah.
Sunshine in Arizona? I've never seen that one
at it.
before.
No, it's a new one. She only got 3 subscribers. It's a lady.
Hmm.
She's on the Colorado River or something.
What's up, Dominic?
Oh my. I decided while I was up, I'd reheat a couple of Justin's favorite breakfast is a burrito.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, look at you guys.
That's a breakfast bowl in a tortilla.
Yep, there you go. See here? I got McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
Burritos. Hey Dominic, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Dominic.
Good morning.
Good evening there, right?
Yep.
So it's like 10:27 in the evening.
You got it.
Breakfast time right now. Everybody's eating.
We're all sitting here eating breakfast, Dominic. We feel bad.
Yeah.
No, I had breakfast about the same time as you did.
Mm.
Well, the only thing is that in my case, I got to get my butt out and get breakfast. The other two gentlemen on the channel here with me, they've got people that take care of them.
Yeah.
No, I make my own breakfast.
Yep. Well, when you're by yourself, you do what you got to do, right?
Hmm.
So some guy in Arizona said we're planning to move to Duluth.
Well, it's hot.
So I will learn a lot more about these awesome ships. Well, yeah, I guess you will.
Duluth Trading Company.
Mhm.
Oh, they like your ship videos, huh, Paul?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of ship activity in Duluth, that's for sure.
Oh, did you guys hear what JD got me yesterday?
What did get you?
I asked him, I said, hey, you coming on the panel? I sent you an email with the link. He goes, well, obviously you don't check your email. I go back in there. He sent me a freaking $40 gift card to Chipotle.
Oh.
But I don't want to show the QR code, but I printed it out. And
Oh boy.
then he sent it to Lindsay McStickers. Or was it that? I think it was Lindsay McStickers he sent it to. Oh, what was it? Let me see. I was laughing my ass off though when I saw that. Because I was not expecting that at all. He was like, check your email. Yeah, he sent it to Lindsay McStickers from Angel Burrito.
Angel burrito.
Watch, I'm gonna go into Chipotle. They're going, sir, we're gonna need to see your ID.
Yeah.
It was kind of slow last night. Even Adrian didn't have a lot of people on last night. Usually he averages at least 40 people in his chat, and he didn't. I don't think he got over 30 last night.
Well, what I've noticed over the years is August is a bad month. Everybody's doing something, getting something ready or doing something else or
Well, a lot of people are getting their kids ready to go back to school and all that crap. And you got school starting in a lot of places. People are coming back from vacations.
And also, I guess kids are already back in school too in some states. So,
well, they are there in Florida, right?
Oh yeah, they're back at school now here. But you know, a lot of people like I noticed through the whole summertime, like 90% of the kids that are usually in the neighborhood have been gone. And then all of a sudden this past week and a half, they all started showing back up again.
Yeah.
They were all a lot of them were out of town for like the whole summer. Where's Duluth at?
The end of the western end of Superior, Lake Superior.
Now,
Well,
is that in the United States or Canada?
Yeah.
oh, you
Okay.
but that's
Never
where a
heard of
lot of the
Duluth.
ships load up down there.
Yeah, a lot of the cargo either comes transported by truck or by train into that port.
Is that where the Duluth Trading Company's out of?
Yeah.
Because I've heard of that business. I've just never heard of Duluth. There's so many small towns in the U.S. though. You could live here your whole life and not hear about half of them. And there's a lot of like, medium-sized cities that you've never heard of
Mm.
unless you've done a lot of traveling.
Duluth is really spread out. It's a long town. Because it goes along the bottom of the lake and at the end of the lake, Lake Superior. I've been through there many times, but the trains, they got to come off a mountain down below. I think it's the steepest tracks there is. And they can only take so many cars down because it's so steep.
That's like the Cajon Pass in California, man. That's crazy shit for trains right there. They got to wind in and out of those mountains coming down.
Mhm.
They've had a couple runaway trains on that track.
Mhm.
So I want to say back in the, was it the 80s or 90s? There was a neighborhood that got hit twice by a runaway train.
Mm.
Completely wiped out a whole section of houses. Like that's why I would never want to live next to railroad tracks. Like these houses that happened to were literally their backyard fence was right up against the tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh hell no.
Yeah. So especially with all the chemicals you get moved by train too, right? Oil, gas, propane.
Oh, and it's not even that too. It's just that when these cars came off the rails, they just wiped out the whole house
Yeah, yeah.
because they were so close to the railroad tracks.
Well, I used to live in a place to look out my window and look down. I could see like the trains go by, but they're coming off of a siding, but they weren't doing probably more than about 20 mile an hour at the most. So they were really, really slow going by.
It's like those people who live in the cities and they're right up underneath the subways and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there was I wish I could find it, but there was a house in the state someplace. The train just misses the corner of the house by like 2 feet.
Oh hell no!
Oh yeah, it's just. I've seen lots of pictures of it, but yeah.
You'll see that in Chicago because they got the subway that's above ground and it's raised up on the big pillars.
Yeah.
And people will live right underneath it. It's
Yeah.
like at any time, man, that train could decide I'm going to go off the tracks, right down on your house, 100 feet down onto your house.
Trying to think of that one guy that's on YouTube all the time there. But he gets on trains and he travels all over the country on trains, like in a cubby hole on a grain car or whatever, or an empty box car. And that's all he just does all the time. He just travels around back. I'm going, holy mackerel, train they were derailed. They never know you were in there.
Oh, and you get a lot of trouble too, because there's there's federal railroad police that monitor the rail tracks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And those guys are assholes, man. They don't play.
Mm.
They catch you messing around the railroad tracks, man, you're gonna get in big trouble.
I think the railroad guys know this guy. They don't seem to bother him that much. Yeah.
Like we got in trouble
But
when
he's
I was
smart.
younger
Yeah.
at my dad's house just for crossing the tracks because they used to ride up and down the dirt road next to the tracks behind my dad's house. The railroad police, they would ride up and down, and they caught us one day just crossing over the tracks. We didn't stop or anything. We were just walking right over them, going to the other side to our friend's house. He used to do it all the time, man. He fussed us out for like 30 minutes for that.
Yeah.
He's like, don't get near my tracks. I'm like, all right, Jesus.
Sunshine said that the reason we choose Duluth is because we are all running out of water here and soon may not even have electricity, and the town of Duluth serves a purpose in our economy. Yeah. Lots of fresh water there in Lake Superior, and it's cold. I don't think you go swimming in that one too much because
No, Lake Superior is cold and deep.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, the family used to go up north in different places. Man, I went out there to go swimming in Superior, and I turned around and said, nope.
Let me see.
Yeah, the West Coast is having so many problems with that drought. I mean, it's sad when you look at the Hoover Dam and you see how low it is. I mean, it's like 20, 30 feet lower than it was, 20 years ago. It's ridiculous. You can see the water line, the whole side of the hills just look white where the water used to be. And then the turbine towers that produce the electricity are almost 75% exposed. I remember driving over that as a kid, man, and there was only like this much of the towers sticking out. Now it's like that much. Crazy. That is an experience, so going over the Hoover Dam. I did that quite a few times. What part of Arizona do they live in?
Okay, what?
I used to go to my grandpa's private golf course out right outside of Kingman, Arizona.
Yeah, right there. Take a look at this one here, Justin.
Oh,
Shit.
nah.
Yeah,
That's
right
close.
It's right close to your lawn.
Even if it's moving that slow, if that one of those cars derailed, it would still come into the side of the house. It would still have some kind of,
Yeah, that's a bit too close for comfort, I reckon.
Paul, does it say what town that is?
I'm not sure if it does or not.
I wouldn't think that would be a U.S. town. I would think they would have some regulation about your house being that close.
Well,
to the
it's a CN train, which is Canadian National, but Canadian National runs through.
Yeah, all in North America.
You guys probably go down to Mexico too. I wouldn't be surprised. Because even U.S. trains go down through Mexico and South America on some rail lines.
Not the actual one I was looking for, but anyways, they
I wouldn't even think they would allow a house that close to tracks here.
Mm.
Because that's all federally ran. So there's like all the regulations for tracks.
Yep.
Are federal.
yeah, it's all federal, anything railroad.
Okay.
So
It's not up to the state or the local government.
Boy, last night about midnight, Paul, the skunk was back, but a different one.
a different one.
It was more black with a little bit of white. And I noticed yesterday too, when I went out into the garage office.
Yeah.
What I noticed was a little hint of skunky smell
Oh,
inside the office,
wow.
which doesn't make any sense because, I paid the guys to put that screening all the way around because
Yep.
the office floor is built on a deck type of thing, a small deck.
Yeah, you have to take a look around, see if they dug underneath it or
Yeah.
got through it or not.
But also the deck, what I call the deck room, which is that room right there, that was an actual deck.
Yeah.
And I had it enclosed with windows and a roof and everything like
Yeah,
that. And so it's open underneath.
Mm.
It's got lattice work, but that doesn't stop anything.
Yeah. No, lattice don't stop nothing. You had to put like a metal screen or something.
Metal screen behind the lattice, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes with animals, you got to dig that screen down into the ground a few feet.
Yeah.
That's what we used to have to do with the rabbits. Keep them out of my mom's garden. We would put the fence, like did a trench around the edge of the fence and then ran the wire like 2 or 3 feet down on the ground and then buried it.
Yeah.
That way, if they
I
dug,
see-
they'd
I
run
see
into it.
The local birds are giving the alarm especially the blue jays, because there's a hawk in the area.
Mm.
They're going chirp, 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 chirp,
Oh,
chirp.
there's hawks
Yeah.
everywhere around here. That's why sometimes when I see a dove, I'm like, man, that thing ain't gonna last very long
No,
because they're not mean at all. You can pick a dove up and it won't do anything. They'll just sit there.
Yeah.
They don't have a mean bone in their body.
Yeah.
And then there's one bald eagle that flies over my neighborhood sometimes.
No,
Big old majestic son of a bitch just comes flying over, big old shadow. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Mm.
All the birds move out of his way.
Yeah. It's funny though. You get little birds that'll chase after a big bird like that.
Oh yeah, there's these one birds. I don't know what they're called, but I saw two of them attacking a hawk one day.
Yeah.
He was up on the pole, and their nest was down in a tree right below the pole, and the two birds were coming up out of the tree, and they were dive bombing him. But he was just sitting there. They were hitting him, and he was just sitting there like they weren't even doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he just got too close to their nest for comfort.
Yeah.
Fort Mojave. That sounds a little from Fort Mojave. It sounds familiar.
I think she said you're down on the Colorado River. So
Yeah, that's where the dam, Hoover Dams. She's downriver from that, I guess.
yeah.
Arizona's been getting quite a bit of rain lately too.
Well, they said that I was watching Ryan Hall, and he was saying that there's a system that's stalled over like New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah, and that it's going to stay there for quite a while. It's going to drop quite a bit of rain. So
Well, the biggest problem is the Colorado River is fed by snow caps in the mountains and stuff, and it just hasn't been as much of it over the last few years. So the river's not providing as much water as it used to.
Yeah.
So I said they just need to build a plant off the coast of California, and they need to build a pipeline to the Hoover Dam and start pumping in fresh water.
yeah,
They'll turn out that seawater and pumping it in there and filling it back up. They're going to have to. There's no way around it. What are they going to do? Just let that thing go dry, and then they're going to have millions of people without electricity
yeah,
and
yeah.
fresh water. They're going to have to do something drastic. They can't just let it run dry. I mean, that's going to affect 2 or 3 states.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just don't build a pipeline to it and start pumping water in there. I mean, it's an emergency at this point.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't do anything sensible.
No, I mean, that would be the sensible thing. I mean, that in all reality, by today's engineering standpoint, that's not even a big pipeline. That's only a couple 100 miles. That's nothing for us to build.
Yeah, no
That would
good.
take it probably a year to do. The problem is, though, is getting those states to work together, right? Because, like, Nevada wants to use their people, California wants to use their people, and they don't like working with each other. It's a big old to do all the time. But yeah, they definitely need to do something drastic, because waiting around hoping it's going to rain and fill up the thing is not going to happen. Because you could be in one of those 100-year droughts, you know. Until we have the technology to avoid that, so I don't know why they're not implementing it.
Yeah.
It's the same way Australia dealt with a lot of their droughts and areas. They were
Yep.
building the reverse osmosis plants off of the coast,
Yep.
desalinization or whatever.
Yep. Desalinization. Yeah.
Yeah, state. So she said seven. They said seven. I don't know. Sunshine, a girl or guy? I don't want to.
A woman. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a woman.
So she said 7 states suck off the Colorado River. But yeah, you got the biggest 3 that you would have to be concerned with at the moment, though, would be Nevada, Arizona, and California. because the Hoover Dam's providing power for a lot of California.
Right.
What are you talking about? They're all going green energy. Oh, that'll fix it.
I mean, technically, that is green energy, though. You're just using the natural power of the river
Yep.
to
Yep.
create electricity. It's not causing any kind of like,
Pollution.
yeah, that's like one of the perfect ways to do it. But like I said, it's like they're all just sitting around like, oh, the river's drying up. What are we gonna do? Like, you can fix it. Man, you could start pumping millions of gallons of water in that thing. I mean, it wouldn't take but probably 6 months to fill that up if you built a couple of big pipe,
Yep.
20-foot pipes coming in there. I know the biggest problem with desalination plants that they have, though, is just the byproduct of the salt from the water.
Yeah.
If they could figure out how to use that for something, like industrial wise, like if they could use that byproduct to do something else, it would be a perfect way of doing stuff like that. But they don't. I don't think they really have a use for it, so it ends up.
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Dominic, what do they do with their salt down there in Australia?
I'm not totally sure about the how it works really, because we've got a pretty big desal plant.
Yeah.
About an hour or so away from me. I couldn't tell you.
Huh.
Sorry about that. I know we have one
Yeah.
because there was
basically
a
just
massive
run it
pit
through
fight.
Don't they just
Oh,
run it through filters or something? Take the salt out?
Yeah, I think so. Because there was a massive shit fight over it because it was built and it was way over budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing on it. It was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's a big plant, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's not small by any means. That's a big
Yeah.
ass plant. That's when I first learned about that. I was watching they had like a little hour documentary about how Australia was doing that to counteract some droughts in certain areas. Well, there's other countries doing that too. I think Dubai has one. Is it Dubai or the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah.
I think that one of those countries has one of their own too that they use. It might be Kuwait too. I can't remember. It was one of them.
They say it leaves behind a waste product of a lot of highly concentrated brine, which is usually disposed of by dumping it back into the sea, a process that requires costly pumping system, and it must be managed carefully to prevent damage to the marine ecosystems.
So they don't want to oversalt the water
Yeah.
in the area, so they have to probably seep it in really slow so it dilutes it. Yeah, because the salt concentration would probably go up immensely. You start dumping all that right back in the ocean.
It says that it is possible to make salt products such as Epsom salts from the brine, but because the market for these products is so small and the price is cheap, it's usually not economical to make the products from the brine.
Yeah, they'd have to find some really big use for it.
Yeah. Huh.
What's up, Bill?
Hey, Bill.
Good morning, Bill from Newfound Drone Productions, or Maximum Impact.
Yeah, he's like giving up on his other channel. He hasn't been.
I think he has. Yeah.
He hasn't been under that account for like a week now.
Yeah.
Marshall
Boy.
plans to move in the next couple of years closer to Phoenix.
Sunshine in Arizona. I'll be in Bullhead City, Arizona next month doing a news story. Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, cool.
You had quite a little chat going last night there, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last hour and a half, it kind of died off. But we had so many people on the panel, everybody was just kind of having fun talking to each other. So,
Yeah.
but at 12 o'clock, I was like, I'm fucking tired. I'm done. There was only like 5 people watching too, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just end it.
I was watching it on the other computer because I was editing the 2 ships that I did last night.
Well, you got a man up there, Bill.
Yeah, he slept for like 11 hours. He said, wow, what a nap. Yeah, I guess so. 11-hour nap. Ooh, I wish.
Me and
I wish.
JD were
Yeah.
were baiting him to try to come on the panel last night. Yeah, I was out. Like I got on the computer for about 30 minutes after I ended the live. Was finishing setting up that game, and then I went and laid down, and I was out. Then I woke up this morning, and I guess I slept the wrong way. My whole neck right here was all stiff. It was hurting so bad. Oh man.
Yeah.
I had to take 3 Excedrin to fucking get rid of my, because it was giving me a bad headache too.
Bill said he was no shape last night to go on the panel.
And Bill's doing his giveaway tonight for that
Mm.
what is it?
OM5.
Uncle Bill? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not gonna catch it because I'm in bed by the time he goes live.
Well, it's
Yeah, we-
midday. It's good for me because it's midday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're
it's
doing good
very
there.
friendly time.
Yeah, doing good there, Bill.
Yeah, Bill, we're hanging in.
Yep.
Weather's not that nice, as you can see.
Yeah, it's pretty cloudy. It's threatening rain, but I don't think it's going to.
It's actually brighter outside than what that's showing. We have a bunch of amateurs, volunteers that run the cameras, and they don't know how to adjust the camera lighting.
Well, and then they zoom in on shit way too far, and then it just blows it out. And it's like
Yep.
like they did with
Yeah.
that cloud yesterday.
Yep.
You could have zoomed in just enough to see it, and we would have known what it was. But they zoomed in on it so far we couldn't tell. It was just a
Yeah.
cloud.
Well, sadly, it's like most organizations. They get to a point where it becomes clicking. The people that are doing things shouldn't be doing them, but they're buddies with somebody else, you know. And
Yep. Yeah, there's a bit of a click in there. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I don't ever catch Bill's show unless I happen to take a Monday off. He goes on really late for a Sunday night. Most people got to work on Monday.
Bill said they needed some rain, and they're finally getting it now. Huh. Our grass is green here. Yeah, it was getting kind of crunchy going across it. It was drying up so bad, but now it's actually not bad.
I don't ever water my lawn in the 3-4 months that we don't have rain.
Yeah.
I just let it starts to get brown, and then right when it's about to die off, we start getting rain again, and then boom, it's all nice and thick and green.
Yeah.
I don't waste the money on the irrigation. Because that's like an extra $50-$60 a month if you run the sprinklers.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. Plus, then I'll have
Hey,
to.
Ron. Good morning.
Hey, go on, Ron.
What's up, Ron?
Hey, Ron.
The do run, run, the do run, run.
Yeah, I've been kind of seeing some of that there, Bill. They getting lots of some big massive fires there in the island.
Yeah, it's like the worst place to get a fire. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, man, some of the films from like the fires in San Diego.
Yeah.
Man, that was just devastating but amazing to look at the same time. You just see these big old mountains just lit up at night, just
Yeah.
glowing orange.
Well, it's kind of like watching volcanoes too. They're kind of fun to watch, but the devastation that's left behind.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's like what I was talking about the other day. If you look at some of the active volcanoes in Hawaii in the areas where that doesn't really affect the local population, because dude, Hawaii is gaining a lot of more acreages of land every year now, like a couple thousand acres a year. The island's growing from those volcanoes. Because then it gets out there, it hardens up, it creates land, and then all dirt starts going on it, and then plants will start growing. And
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen overnight. It takes a couple
Yeah.
of lifetimes before
Yeah.
an actual lava flow becomes usable for anything. Because when I was out there in Hawaii, everybody you go up to the park where the lava flows are, and they estimate that the lava that you're walking on, the hard lava, is about 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
And it still is lava. There's nothing changed about it.
Yeah.
But the base of those islands, most islands are lava.
Yeah.
Pretty much like Mount Etna.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Sicily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not like you can plant crops in it.
Yeah, the soil is very fertile.
Yep. Well, what I was amazed at in Hawaii is why somebody, those great big grinding machines you see on the front of tractors, not tractors, but great big 10-wheeled things, and the drum turns and grinds it up. Why they don't grind some of that up,
Yeah.
so Hawaii last year, or in 2019, Hawaii gained 875 acres
Yeah.
from volcanic. And then in the past 3 months, they've gained over 120 acres. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty
No,
good.
you should. Yeah.
And
Those are 3 months.
the black lava sand, there's beaches there that have black lava sand. I think
Yep.
it's a $10,000 fine if you remove any of it.
Yeah.
Because the tourists would go there and they fill up little baggies and take it home, And so now it's like, no.
Yeah. Ron said he completely wore a brand new pair of sneakers on the Big Island 4 years ago, climbing an old volcanic lava in one night.
Well, I remember Ron telling us that story. He and another fella, they biked up there and then they walked for miles,
Yeah.
and then they had to walk back, and it wasn't a fun walk all the way back in the dark.
Yeah.
The 8 main Hawaii islands are made up of 15 volcanoes, which are the youngest in the linear chain of more than 129 volcanoes above and below sea level. Wow.
Yeah, that's the other interesting thing is there are volcanoes under the water, under the sea that we don't see every day, but they're still there and they're still pushing lava up out into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of acreage, 120 in just 3 months.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of land.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that volcano or the volcanic rock, man, is sharp as hell. Tell you what. It makes
Right.
good for a basin. I know a lot of people would use it in California where I lived. There was an old inactive volcano in Southern California, and there was tons of lava rock out in the desert. People would use it to line their propane barbecues.
Oh, yeah.
They'd get the lava rock and they'd put a bed of it in there
Oh,
because it kind of helps disperse the heat evenly.
oh, cool. Ron was saying it's very bad luck to take anything off the island.
You're muted, Paul.
I think that they've used the natives have used like pieces of lava as insulation of their houses and stuff like
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you can make arrowheads, all kinds of shit out of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's very sharp.
Yep.
Because if you go in Southern California where like Newberry and Barstow is, the whole desert's littered with volcanic rock.
Hmm.
It's everywhere, especially out in the Newberry area, in the desert. I mean, you can just see it when you're driving down the freeway. There's lava rock everywhere. That's where Lucy LaBalle's old vacation home, one of her vacation homes was.
Okay, Bill, have a good one.
Take care. So what's your plans for the day, Justin? You got things to do or?
Not really. I mowed the lawn and everything yesterday, so I don't really have a whole lot to do today.
Paul got his lawn mowed, but he's got a little bit of raking to do with the new dirt.
Yeah, we gotta spread some of that around, put some grass seed down and you gotta roll it. So I bored the roller across the street. So they got a real big, heavy roller. I just put it on the back of my zero turn there and drag it around.
I used to have, probably an ancient one, was made out of metal. And it had metal handles and everything. It used to push it. It had where you filled it with water.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And oh my God. I
no,
finally got tired of it sitting around and I put it out to the curb and it disappeared for the metal scrap.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
You can still buy those old school push ones that are just manual.
Yep.
Yeah.
They sell them on Amazon for like $50.
Yep.
No, this one here's gotta be weigh at least 500 pounds. It's a real big, heavy metal. It's got great big, like a tray on top of it, then it's full of concrete and,
Yeah.
oh, it's just, yeah.
The only thing I have to do is I do have to finish. I only did half the backyard yesterday, so but that won't take me but like 20 minutes to do.
Yeah.
Because with Bo's cable running across, I have to do
AZ
one
is
side.
in the house.
What's up, baby?
Hey, AD.
And Dave.
Oh, Gracie probably woke up. She wants to go back outside.
Nah.
But
Oh.
Yeah, Mia's been going in and out the back screen.
Yeah.
Right now she's laying on the deck.
I think Gracie wants to go up a little bit. Yeah.
It was like perfect timing yesterday though. I got like 90% of the lawn done. Came in the house and immediately started storming about 30 minutes later. And when I was outside, it was all sunny and clear. Like it just came in that freaking quick. And I do have to edge up the one side of the driveway too, because Sarah backed the car in yesterday and was up on the grass. So I couldn't get to
Mhm.
one side. Forgot about that. I gotta go out and finish that.
There she is laying out there on the deck, watching the squirrels run around. Oh, she saw something. Those squirrels run right across in front of her.
I gotta do some edging on that walk path.
I know. Well, I need to get some weed killer, but
I have to
Gosh,
do that on my
she-
driveway all the time because the grass comes up through the cracks. So I take the weed
Yep.
whacker, just go right down the cracks.
she decided to come back in.
You got a pretty decent sized yard back there.
Oh yeah, it's all fenced in just like that. And up here at the top of the door is up here. It's I've got that magnetic screen. She can come and go as as long as it's not overly hot and I close the door, or super cold, I close the door. But
Now, do your neighbors like utilize the backyard at all?
their own, yeah. This neighbor over here, let me see if I can
Come on.
pan it over a little bit.
Yep.
Neighbor over here has just a regular chain link fence on the backside, but this is a common fence here that goes up to the north of my garage.
Lay down
No,
now.
I'm saying, do your tenants utilize the backyard at all or no?
He's got a pool out here.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Mia doesn't. Mia gets along with everybody.
Oh, Mia just doesn't. He's got a dog though that's young and yappy.
Yeah. That's your tenants?
No, that's my neighbor.
No, I was saying, do your tenants ever use the backyard?
No. They've got their own side yard.
Okay. So they have their own little side.
Long
yard.
side of the house. They've got, yeah.
That's cool. At least
And
they
I
have
built
their own-
them a little deck out there too. So they've got their
that's-
own little deck and
That's awesome. At least they have their own little space, I guess.
yeah. The only thing I wish I had done is I should have done when I probably was a little more healthy in the wallet. I should have put maybe a garage on that side of the house, like a 2-car garage towards the back so that they had a garage too, but is what it is.
How many bedrooms is the thing upstairs? 2?
2 bedrooms, yeah.
2 bedroom, 1 bath, and a kitchen.
Yeah. And a big living room.
Oh, nice.
I forgot I had the screen share still going.
One thing I would spend money on is I'd insulate the shit out of the roof, between the roof and their floor.
Well, I had insulation blown in the walls. And because the house is so old and the wiring is the old 2-wire stuff,
Uh-huh.
there isn't a ground. It's knob and tube.
Yeah,
They would not go up there and insulate up above the upstairs apartment.
Unless you
Did
Replace
spend
that.
thousands of dollars on electrical work.
they didn't want to take the risk of it
And
catching.
I'm not young enough to go up there and, throw some plywood down or whatever, and then, throw some insulation down and work my way across there with plywood and keep moving,
yeah.
No.
That's the one thing I hated whenever I lived in an apartment though. Is like they would barely put any kind of like insulation between the apartment above you and the one below. And
Yeah,
you could hear every little fucking footstep somebody made.
Well, even I talked to one guy, where they do the spray insulation. And he took one look up there and saw the wires running around and stuff. He says, nope, not me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's some old wiring if you're still using tubes and shit.
Mm.
That's an
Oh
old
yeah,
system.
there's a junction box upstairs that has the old, you screw in the fuses.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's an old setup there.
Well, the house was built in 1937, I think.
Did it have electricity in 1937 or was it?
Oh yeah.
Because I would think houses were kind of rare for electricity back then, right?
No, because the electrical system was built I got a pole out behind my house that was installed in 1937.
Jesus, that pole could talk.
Yep.
I can't believe it's lasted that long with the extreme
Well,
weather.
neither could the inspectors that came out. They're going to replace it.
Because I know, those telephone poles will have oils and stuff in them to keep the wood,
Yeah, from rotting.
moist and keep it from rotting. But still, like, usually by that many years, that shit's dried out. Even railroad ties will dry out over
Yeah.
a 20-year period.
Well, and you got to remember, if that pole was installed in 37, that means that it was treated, and how they treated wood back then, there wasn't pressurized treating, I'm sure.
Probably just a creosote,
Just
creosote.
slap on it. Yep.
Well, and this is another thing too, is they used a lot of chemicals back then that are, banned by today's standards, like asbestos and
Yeah.
shit. But the shit worked, but they didn't know how bad it was for, being around humans and stuff. Like asbestos was like the best insulation ever.
Yeah.
But we didn't know how dangerous it was back in the day.
Yep.
Like it made a great great it was a great composite and like paints and all that stuff. It was some of the best product you could use in a lot of products. But yeah, like I
They
said,
really discovered the asbestos thing when children started chewing on doors and whatever. And
Yeah.
I remember,
Lead.
there was a big push to keep your kids away from anything that's painted that,
Lead
has
paint, eh?
lead paint.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, like my dad has to go once a year or once every couple years to get a mesothelioma test. Because back when him and my uncles were in the Navy, him and my other uncle were stationed on the same destroyer together because they were in that like brothers program or whatever, where you could be with your brother, be stationed with him and stuff. And both of them were telling me one time not too long ago that they were, they used to be down there repainting part of the ship and be scraping off asbestos paint with no masks or anything on.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't know about it back then, To them,
Yep.
it was just scraping paint off the wall and repainting,
Uh,
I was like, Jesus. So because of that, my dad's insurance and my uncle's require that they go get that test done every couple of years.
They're calling Paul for a high here later today of 71.
yeah, it's
Mm.
gonna be nice and cool all day.
That's only 75 here, but it's also only 9 o'clock. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let me see what it says. It's gonna be the high today.
Yeah, get some work done, more work done around here today. Nice, good cooler is not gonna be, overheating, trying to get some work done.
What do you got? Another day for the uprights to be there holding the ceiling up, or?
No, I can take them down anytime. Supposed to be up for 24 hours, and I think I did it about 10:30, 11 o'clock yesterday. So they said 24 hours, so should be able to come down.
Oh,
I could take them
Jesus.
down now. it'll be dry.
So it's
Besides, those panels are light. It's not like it's, holding something up, right? I use construction adhesive.
Well,
That
if you are lucky like I am,
Yeah.
you could have it up there for a week and take them down. All of a sudden, you hear this crack, 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 crack.
you
No, I
know,
use really good construction adhesive. Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be nasty later.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a high of 91 with the humidity at 92%.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's 77 right now, but it's feels like 76, so it's actually a degree lower.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be nasty later.
Oh, shit.
It's a lot of humidity.
The sun's out a little bit right now. Looks like it's trying to come out a bit.
How's your dog doing with his dog run?
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He's been doing really good with it. I'm just having issues with him digging up holes in the damn yard. He's got 3 massive holes he made right under our bedroom window.
Yeah.
The kids came running up to me the other day. Dad, he exposed a pipe. It was just a sprinkler pipe. He didn't chew on it or anything. He just
Yeah.
dug it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got these 3 holes, and you'll go out there, and all you'll see is his ass hanging out of the ground. He nose deep in the ground. He's dug them out to where he can fit his whole body down underneath him.
Well, you could put a plant or a tree there now.
Well, luckily he's piled up all the dirt in a nice big neat pile, so I just got to get the shovel and fill him back in.
Yeah. What's this? Sunshine in Arizona said we lost Justin's video about 5 minutes ago. Just saying, not sure if you know. Well, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Justin turned his camera off.
He
Yeah,
turned his camera.
when you turn your camera off, you guys, I
You
just
can still hear him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Paul, everybody on the panel can still see my box. You guys
Yep.
just can't.
Oh yeah. You have to watch on just YouTube. They wouldn't know.
Hey, Sunshine, if you want to experience it, just come up at the top of the chat. There's a link. You can just click on that and come in
You can come into the panel if you want.
on the panel.
Yeah, you don't have to turn the
Even if you
camera on.
don't have Zoom, it'll automatically load everything you
It'll
need.
load everything up and you just come in and you just follow the prompts.
Yeah, you don't have to have your camera on or anything.
No.
You don't. Yeah, you don't have.
If
to
you don't have
camera.
a camera, you don't need a camera because it says, do you want to come out with a camera? You just have to have a microphone on your computer or most computers have a camera
Yeah, most nowadays. So, well,
Well, most-
laptops and
or
stuff
even
like that.
tablets or cell phones. too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you come in, you'll be able to see a black square box and it has his name on there.
If
Just-
you're in here, yeah, we can see the black box with his name on it because we're on Zoom, right? So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
see on StreamYard, if somebody shuts their camera off, everybody can still see them.
mm,
It shows their box, but Zoom, well, Zoom, you can actually turn that off. We actually found the setting for. Remember how I accidentally got kicked out that one day? It wouldn't let me back in.
Yeah.
Me and Tim found the setting there where you can turn that off, where it allows people to come back in if they accidentally get kicked out.
mm,
Oh, okay.
There's a setting that says allow participants that got booted to come back in immediately.
oh,
Because me and Tim started diving into the settings, trying
Oh.
to like learn everything because he was having some issues with his account.
I'm still having somewhat, the porn issue still continues, Paul.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
last night I went in on one of my channels and there was the dog humping the girl again.
Oh, geez.
And you kiss my ass, David.
I had to ban.
What just coming in on what, Paul? Just on your computer?
No, it comes in on the YouTube, not YouTube, the Facebook page.
Oh,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Sunshine, the minute you do it the first couple of times, it becomes nothing after that. Everybody's always nervous.
Everybody's nervous the first time.
Yeah.
After you do it a couple of times, you won't even think about it.
It's just like going to the coffee shop, right, Dominic?
Yep.
Yeah, you can even sleep on the channel if you want. Who was? Oh, Dave Ennis used to go all the time. Sitting
Dave
there and
Ennis
listen
used
to
to start snoring. Yep.
start
Yeah, you do.
snoring. We'd have to mute his mic.
Yeah, yeah, because you would see a ceiling fan. He would always have his phone sitting on his nightstand,
Yeah.
and then you'd start hearing him snoring. Even Paul's fallen asleep a couple of times.
Live you up.
Look at him.
I get tired. Yeah.
There was that one
I
day.
had a rough night again last night.
There was that one night we kept Paul's show going for like 2 hours. It was super late. Paul turned his light off and was just sitting there in his chair. And me and Bill and everybody else was just going along with the show.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Dominic.
Okay.
Yeah, once you do it a couple of times, you won't even think about it anymore.
Yep. Ooh, Paul's taking his supports down.
Is he muted?
No. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say
Because
usually
it doesn't show muted on here, Paul. You just turned his thing off. You didn't mute it on Zoom.
I was about to say, man, that
You just
echo
muted the
cancel-
microphone because you don't want to listen to that thing go la, 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 other drill.
I was about to say that noise cancellation's working hella good because I didn't even hear nothing. Well, we'll know here in a second.
Does it look like it's good and solid, Paul? If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, no, it's looking good, Paul. Didn't drop down or anything on that one. We'll try the next one.
Well, if we hear a crash and his camera goes flying onto the floor, we'll know. He's probably sleeping, David. He goes to bed at like weird ass times at like 4 or 5 in the evening.
Well, it's 11 o'clock there, and he's got work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd almost bet you he's sleeping.
Wow, looks good, Paul.
All right.
Yeah, looks really good. Didn't drop down or anything. That looks good. Run these pieces of wood outside here for a minute.
He'll be up at like sometimes he'll get up at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Our time.
Because no, at his time.
His time?
Yeah, because he'll go to bed super early. He'll be in bed at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So then he'll be wide awake at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And he doesn't have to go to work till like 3 or 4. So yeah, sometimes he'll jump on a private with me for a little while. Yeah, Tim goes to bed super early sometimes. I say he'll be in bed at like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I used to go to bed at 6, 7 o'clock when I was working at Walmart because I had to be there at 4 o'clock in the morning. I did that for like 3, 4 years, man. That was hated that schedule. It's 4. I mean, it was nice getting off at 1 in the afternoon, but it just, you couldn't stay up late and hang out with anybody. You couldn't do anything. And then trying to go to bed at 7 o'clock with kids in the house is not an easy thing to do. Cause there'd be some nights we'd have like a friend would show up or something and have to go to bed and everybody'd be hanging out in the living room and then. That's why that's why I love the fact I got out of retail too, because now I have all the holidays off. When I was a manager, I always had to work every damn holiday except for
Huh.
Christmas. That was the only one we got off.
Wow.
And that wasn't even a true 20. Walmart was never really truly closed for a full 24 hours on Christmas neither. Because the night shift would have to come in Christmas night. They would have to be there at 10 o'clock. But now Walmart's starting to give Thanksgiving off again. They used to do that years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
now they started that up again like 2 years ago. They're closing on Thanksgiving now. They did that because, well, their reasoning behind it was because of the COVID pandemic. They were like, oh, we want to give people a chance, some more time at home with their families. It was just like they use that as an excuse to start closing their stores early, but we already knew they were going to do that 2 years before the pandemic hit because we had a bunch of meetings about it. They were going to they wanted to start closing the stores at like 10, 11 o'clock at night because they were losing more money than they were making from people stealing crap, coming in there in the middle of the night, stealing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That it wasn't worth keeping the stores open. But that's the thing, right? The stupidest thing you could do if you were going to shoplift at Walmart is do it in the middle of the night, because you're one of the very few people in the store. You stick out like a sore thumb because of that. And they would catch a lot more people in the middle of the night still than they would during the day. You go in there during the day when there's 1,000 people in there,
It's hard to
you're less
keep an
likely
eye
to
on.
get,
Yeah.
you're less likely to get caught because there's so many people in the store.
What was your shrink at the store? What percentage?
The store I worked at was around 250,000 a year. But that was considered really good because the store that's 5 miles down the road from which we call the ghetto Walmart, because it's just old and dilapidated and just because I don't know, it's just a really old Walmart and it's kind of nasty. They don't really keep up on it too well, but that one was experiencing 500,000-600,000 a year.
Oh, geez.
The manager ended up getting fired from there a couple years ago because in 1 year they had $1.5 million in shrink, and they ended up firing him over that. And that's really, really bad. Like I said, a good store will average between $150,000-$250,000 in shrink.
Huh.
But Walmart's acceptable is about $1 billion and $1.5 billion a year company wide. That's what they consider an acceptable number.
Well, isn't that hard to believe, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's something that, I mean, you just have to, I guess as a company, you just have to deal with. You got to know that it's going to happen. And
Well, in shrink, there's a lot of things that goes into that figure, such as damaged goods that you might blow off at 10% on the dollar or whatever.
right.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
not just stolen stuff. Yeah.
It's just not stolen stuff. Or things that are damaged by employees and have written off,
Right. Because like if you work at Walmart and you're unloading a truck and you happen to drop a $2,000 TV and break it,
Yep.
you don't have to pay for that.
No.
They just throw it on a claims pallet and they shrink it out and that's it. Same way with customers. Every once in a while, I'd get that one customer break something by accident and they'd freak out because they thought they were going to have to pay for it. Walmart ain't going to make you pay for that. Just relax. You're okay. I'll clean it up. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's illegal for a company to charge an employee for something if they break it.
Accidental breakage.
Yeah, and if it's accidental,
Yeah.
they can't charge you for it. But yeah, our store always got really good inventory every year. But like our store is down on one side of town, and then the ghetto Walmart's down on the other side of town. But the one I worked at is where like you know, you had a lot of big private communities and golf courses around it. And so you had a lot of upscale rich people that would shop at that Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
That Walmart was always really well taken care of. Like they would always be repainting it. It was always kept up really good. But Walmart also owns that property, where the other Walmart, they don't own the property, and the guy that owns the complex doesn't let them do a lot of stuff to it. That's the only reason why it looks like that. The guy's just a real asshole that owns the complex. It's like, why would you be like that, man? You got the biggest retailer in the world renting out a big space.
Especially when the big retailers worry about their self-image.
Well, and that's the thing too. And they sign a lot of times with the big industrial, you know, contracts. When you're signing a lease, that's usually a 10 to 20 year lease.
Yep.
Yep.
Like you think that he would let Walmart just kind of do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
As far as upgrades, but yeah, he doesn't. He fights Walmart all the time over that.
Hey, good morning, Wayne B.
Wayne B.
Just like he wouldn't let Walmart put in, like at the Walmart I worked at, we had that cart system where there was an underground buried cable around the entire Walmart property, and each one of the carts had an electronic, one of the wheels on the front was electronic.
Yep.
And if you went past that point in the parking lot, it would lock up the cart so you couldn't steal it or take off of it.
Well, you'd have to lift it up and steal
But-
it.
But the other Walmart, they wanted to put that system in, and the guy wouldn't let him do it. And there's a big issue down there with Walmart carts all over
all
downtown,
over town, yeah.
down there because of that. The guy.
Well,
wouldn't
you
let him
know,
put it in.
they're great. They're great transportation mode for homeless people.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Well,
that.
they
too.
are.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there's a big apartment complex back behind Walmart over there too, and a lot of people will push their buggies of groceries to the outside gate, the back gate at the apartment
And
complex.
just leave it there.
And they leave it there, and you'll go there and there will be a whole line of Dollar General carts, Walmart carts. And then these poor freaking cart pushers have to walk a quarter mile back behind Walmart.
Well, there used to be here a small company. A guy had a trailer with rails on it, you know, where you could put carts back there.
Yep. Same here.
He'd go around and scoop them all up, take them back, and they'd pay him $5 a cart.
They stopped doing that because the guys were going into the parking lots and taking the carts and bringing them back saying they found them. So they stopped doing that program.
Well, they did find him. They just found him in the parking lot.
Right. But like that one guy, you know, they would send these cart pushers, and it's about a quarter mile from them to walk to the front of the store around the wall that goes around Walmart all the way back to the car complex, but they're not allowed to take the electric cart pusher to go get them. So these guys have to get like a line of 20 carts, and they're trying to push them all the way back around.
Oh,
It's
crap.
just a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. They have to do it every day.
Well, whenever I go out to Sam's Club, there's always some carts, especially like the bigger carts where you put heavier stuff on, you know. And I'll always, if there's between me and the door, I'll grab a couple of them and push them back in and give them to the girl inside, you know.
Wayne B said, I was wondering how that worked, Justin. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good system, but every once in a while you'd get one of those carts lock up inside the store. Oh my God, a customer gets so pissed. And then there was a couple of times where you'd see a couple teenagers running with the cart, like running down the aisle. All of a sudden that front wheel would lock up and go flying over the front of it. I saw that quite a few times too. A lady broke one of our doors one day because you know how Walmart locks the general merchandise side after a certain time at night?
Uncle Bill, we're not ignoring you, buddy. Hello.
What's up, Bill?
Oh, I don't care if you ignore me. You don't mean, what does that mean to me?
We appreciate your presence there, Bill, because we know how Laura holds you in such high esteem.
Oh, so my,
Prince,
so my worth is based on someone else.
Prince, well, think about it. The royal family is based on the opinions of other people. So it's like,
Oh, now you're royalty.
You're kind of like YouTube royalty. Yeah.
Yeah, like the clinger on, you know. That's just awesome.
You like how Paul's.
No video at the moment because you don't want to see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You like how Paul saved that right there, right, Bill?
I'm in the reading room. Huh?
So do you like how Paul pulled back and saved that?
What, he insults me and then he calls me royalty? I don't know.
Well-
I don't know.
I didn't see it as an insult, but sorry if you took it that way. But Laura, I know, she even delays starting and stopping shows, and because she's told me privately, well, I'm waiting for Uncle Bill. I'm waiting for Uncle Bill.
Well, I mean, you're saying that like that's, you know, I'm actually the co-host of that show.
Yeah, I know
so-
you are, and that's
Oh,
good.
okay. So
That's
I might have
good. You
something
help,
to do.
you help her out because you have to kind of moderate between her and David, right?
there's no, you can't get in between that. No, you just spectate, you know, you maybe announce a little bit, maybe interject a little bit,
Yeah.
but no, you're like, you know, and God, don't talk politics. Let David say whatever the hell he wants, by the way.
It does get a little bit interesting there.
I made that mistake the other day. Sorry about that. You know, the whole thing was fresh in my mind at the time, so I just couldn't help myself. I don't want to talk politics on drone channels or friendly meeting channels. You know, if I see, that's just it. Artie wants me to come on to the three conservative gimps that he does in the afternoon, but he comes on exactly the same time as Laura's
Laura.
thing.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to get upset and talk politics, I would be there. So that's that.
Mm.
But anyway, how are you all this morning? Dominic, I see you're wrapped up in your
Yep.
you're warmy there. Can we send you a space heater or something so you could heat your home? You know,
Give it a month and it'll start warming up.
is that
and I'll be
your
fine
plan?
with
Is
that.
that why you just wear jackets instead of
Yeah.
just heating your house?
Yeah,
You just
Why-
wait it out?
Back in
yeah,
his
we just wait it out.
back in his ancestral line, Bill, there was some Inuits in there, you know, the Eskimos.
And they eat rice cakes apparently.
Yeah.
Or whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It was
Yeah,
only in the last few years that he moved into a regular house and not an igloo.
Oh, Jesus.
I think I understand why we constantly see him in a restaurant somewhere all the time.
Yeah.
Paul, are you okay? Oh, there you are. Okay. I
Yeah,
saw
I'm
you.
here. I'm just looking at,
We saw your head down. We were wondering if you
Yeah.
nodded off.
Yeah.
yeah, going to sleep. No, I gotta go get my day started here right shortly, so.
Yeah, I woke up for some reason at 6. Oh yeah, the reason was I had to pee. And I was like, oh, let's see if the guys are on. So I've been up since. Because they're all nuts. You know, they all do their sunrise stuff. And then
Yeah,
you ever go over you guys ever Dominic, you were in there, weren't you?
yeah,
think you were.
I go from one sunrise to another.
Yeah, you got this. I fell back asleep I fell asleep during Dennis's
Yeah,
show. And
it's a perfect timing.
yeah,
Always perfect timing.
for you it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey, build back. Yeah,
yeah,
But I,
yeah.
you know, he was singing away like he always does on Sunday morning, and
Yeah.
I actually,
Yeah.
I fell asleep. And then
He
I
does
woke
it on
up. I
Sunday,
missed I missed Chris Hope.
They do it on Sunday too?
Yeah,
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought it
Every
was
Sunday.
Saturday they did it.
It starts with Drone Bum. No, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Drone Bum at about 5:30 in the morning or so. And then it goes
Yeah.
to Rodney. So I saw Rodney. I was there for the whole Rodney thing. And
Yeah.
then from Rodney, it goes to Dennis
Lovely.
Lovelady. And then from Dennis Lovelady, it goes to Chris Hope. And then after Chris Hope, it's Drones and Coffee with Johnny, which you were just up against just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even No, they did that on Saturday or Sunday. I thought they only did it on Saturday.
No, it's all it's all Sunday morning. It's every Sunday. A big
Yeah,
deal.
cool.
But
Hey, Paul, I'm gonna,
Historically, every Sunday, but on Saturday mornings when Rodney does his morning coffee, sometimes he'll do a sunrise before his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes he does do it. Yeah.
Well, usually you'll have Chris, Dennis, and Rodney on Saturdays mornings, and then there's some other guy that goes on after Rodney, but I don't know who that is.
yeah, that's more recent. You know, that's more recent. They've been doing this Sunday thing for a while. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Johnny gets sometimes 35, 40 people in a morning drones and coffee thing. So it's
Yeah.
you know, I mean, the earlier ones you don't get nearly as many because let's face it, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning when it starts. You know, but it's
Yeah.
one show after the other. You know, I mean that's Eastern time. It's even worse if you're out west. You know, so you got to figure. So
And
it
that's
just
about-
increases. It just increases as the shows go on. But that's
Yeah,
3 hours,
yeah.
4 hours of shows.
That,
3 hours.
that worked out at 7:30 for me.
yeah.
So I just finished dinner and sort of like get on and watch.
So Paul, I'm gonna take off. I gotta get my day started. so-
Okay, Paul, thanks for being here.
Right.
Will we see you
Yep.
tonight or no?
Yep, I'll be home tonight. Yeah,
Okay.
like I gotta go home this afternoon, so
All
I
right,
wanna
buddy.
get some stuff done first, so we'll see you later.
Okay,
Bye.
yeah,
Bye,
bye-bye.
guys. See ya.
Well,
I like watching Chris's lives. I can listen to Chris talk all day. He's an interesting
Yeah.
guy.
Well,
I
he
do
generally
enjoy-
does a little story when he's
Right.
flying the drone. He does the
Yeah.
sunrise with the drone and he tells a story about some
Yeah.
famous incident or place or person in Texas and
Yeah.
he does it with that, you know, with that voice of his and it just draws you
Yeah,
right
That
in.
voice is very. That voice
Sure
is very
is.
enjoyable.
Yeah, it does. It's very
It's
I like
relaxing.
listening to him. Yeah,
JDS is in the channel.
Hey.
I want to start copying Chris whenever possible.
He's in the chat.
What's up, JDS?
Smooth as the hair on my Philly's back. I don't know.
That video he did about the props, that was pretty funny.
Mm.
Oh, the giant props. Those
Yeah.
those things were immense. What the heck kind of windmill are they making?
Yeah, those things were huge. They took up 2.5 rail cars.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's the future right there. Ride the wind.
Yep.
And I wasn't really expecting that because he was like, yeah, they shipped it on to the train station. I was like, what? I was like, who the hell ships a package to the train station? I've never heard that before. And then all of a sudden, there comes a train coming down the tracks. I was like, oh, Jesus. I started
There
cracking
were
up.
80-foot props on them. Yeah, it's pretty neat. But, you know,
I'm doing good, JDS.
I can't see the chat.
It's supposed to be 91 here, Bill, in my area with 92% humidity today.
Actually, it's a little hotter here today. It said 90. I forget what it said. I'll have to take a look, but it's going to be real feel 102.
Sunshine,
So-
Arizona. Have a great day.
Might be the same thing. It might be 90, 91, 92 with real feel because of the humidity. Probably the same thing. I wanted to fly, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm old, you know. I kind of fall apart. That kind of heat.
Right.
You don't want that sweat getting in your eyes when you're buzzing boats at 90 miles an hour, getting tickets from the local police. That's what we were discussing this morning. Is Paul, Wedgenbig getting a ticket
Yeah.
for speeding
Yeah.
on a lake.
We were talking about that last night at the beginning of
Yeah.
my show. Because
Yeah.
he actually called me yesterday right after it happened and told me all about it and sent me a picture of the ticket. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, reckless flying or whatever. I mean, they're gonna have to prove that. First of all, he's over a body of water. I don't know what he was threatening. Then they're gonna say, well, there were some boats. They're gonna,
Well-
there's, first of all, there's gonna have to be some kind of ordinance or law in place that they can enforce that. They can't just randomly say it was reckless. There has to be a defense.
Well,
They have to def-
Besides that, Bill, there isn't any local municipality has the right to write any ticket having to do with airspace anyway.
Yeah, the only thing
Well,
that
what
can
they're
regulate is
saying is
landing
he
and
was-
taking
he was-
off.
very low over the water. and there were boats, and that's what they're gonna say, and there were boats and people in the water, and he's going 90 miles an hour in the water.
Their complaints should be to the FAA because there's no restriction for flying low over water.
I know.
Yeah, the thing is it was
Well, I
on the
think they can get,
ticket.
if you had a plane that was flying 15 feet over a lake and there were boats in the lake, I think they could do something. And I don't know if that's the route they're trying to
Well,
take.
depending upon the aircraft, there is restrictions on how your flight levels are.
Not over,
Anything-
you know, that's
anything-
it.
Any manned aircraft has to stay a minimum of, what is it, 300 feet, I think?
No, it's
500
500 feet, but that's not
500.
true over water. That's only over
500
land.
here.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I
that's-
heard that there was a flight level over water too for manned aircraft.
You might have heard that, but if you go down the shore here in Florida, anywhere you want to go, you can see these guys down 100 feet,
Well, this is a thing.
125 feet.
Well, this is a thing too, though, is it was on the ticket, it said visually observed going 90, so they didn't even know if how fast he was actually
no.
going.
Well,
And
it's-
two, it
it's-
was wrote as a traffic ticket.
So he wrote visually seen going 90 miles an hour,
It was visually observed is what was written on the ticket.
going 90 miles. He actually put
Right.
that on the ticket.
Yep.
See, that ticket, he can get that thrown out because right off the bat, that can't, how did you do that?
Unless he shot it with a LiDAR gun.
Right. which he
No,
did.
he said no because he wrote on the ticket visually observed speed
Yes,
at 90 miles an hour.
That's baloney. Can't do that. And
Well,
even
the
if
thing-
there was, even if there was, is there a law against going 90 miles an hour with a drone that we don't know about, that
Yeah.
they know about, we don't know about? It's baloney, you know, and he's saying along the water. So that's why they're really tying it to reckless behavior with boaters. That's
And
what
and
what
there's
he's trying
no
to say. And all he's got to do is show, if he wants to fight it, go to the court, show the video, show he didn't come near any freaking boats, and it's all ridiculous, and they'll have to throw it out. They'll have to show that he actually endangered somebody, because there's no law per se that says you can't go 90 miles an hour at 5 feet or 3 feet over the water. There is no law
Well,
against it.
and the thing is
If
there
it's a
was
cigarette boat, you can go as fast as you friggin' want on the
That's
water.
right. Yeah.
well, there was no signs saying that he couldn't land or take off there because that's the only ordinance a city can put in place. And
Well,
two, the
that's-
FAA gave
that's
him
besides
clearance.
the point. That's not what they cited him for.
Right,
you know,
but then
that's-
he also had clearance from the FAA to fly because he also did the
Yeah, that's all.
did a Lance for authorization.
You needed Lance to fly there?
No, he just does it just to do it.
Oh, well, he didn't need it, so that doesn't play into it either. I mean, that's nice.
Right,
If
but
don't
when
need-
you- they
if
send
don't
you
need
that-
Lance- If you don't need Lance for the area that you're in. I
But
mean,
when you get that
all you
text
need to
message,
do is- All you need to do is show up and say, you don't need Lance authorization to fly in this area. That's all. you
yeah,
need
but
to
I'm
do.
saying, but if
Show
you
them
have that
option.
text message saying that no authorization was needed and you're clear, that's proof right there that you were allowed to fly there too, though.
Yeah, but you can show that anytime. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they try to call that into question, you can show them that there's no Lance authorization in that area.
But the thing is like that, like we said, there's no rules against it. And to say that you visually observed an FPV drone and tried to guess the speed is bullshit.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And technically,
He
he
fired a
put-
gun, and I believe it was going 350 feet per second, and it was really going 285.
and this
So
is
I don't know.
and we all know the FAA says you can't go past 99.9 miles an hour. So even if he was visually observed at 90 miles an hour, he still wasn't breaking the rules.
Yeah, but I don't believe that cop even knows that. So
Right.
that again, that also didn't play into it. And you
Right.
think, if they go into court and say that, something about speed, but you're not. They're just tying that speed low over the water as reckless. Not that he was breaking a speed limit, that he was
Right.
being reckless around voters. That's all.
But
what
it's like the FAA said, that when they made that statement a few years ago, they said, we own the airspace space down to your grass. Like there is
Yeah,
no
the
limit
minute you enter the airspace, it's federal.
whether you're an inch off the ground or 5 feet off the ground, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't
Once-
know. I read that you have rights to reasonable elevation above your private
That
property.
turned out to.
In other words,
not be true.
if there's a reasonable expectation that you could build your house, build a tower in your yard to say 50 feet, that you'd have 50 feet. But again, this isn't over somebody's private property. It's over a fucking lake. So it's got nothing to do with anything.
Well, this
You know.
is the thing. The only airspace that you have control of or on your property is literally the airspace of your structures that your structures take up.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. There's been court cases saying that, all right, well, then what? I can't put a second story in my house because I'm.
No,
limited?
that's when your airspace is increased. It doesn't mean that you own, because see, what was overturned, Bill, was people used to think that you owned your property and you owned all the way to the stars.
Well, because that's the way real law used to be written before people
Yep.
could fly.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
And so then they whittled
Used to
it
be
down
real-
and said it's
They
the
used to have a real estate license.
airspace is yours in which your structures occupy. So
Right.
therefore, if you want to build higher, then your airspace increases.
Yeah,
But if I'm,
they say reasonable use. So I mean, if you put a 50-foot antenna tower in your backyard so that you can pick up television, broadcast from 70 miles away. Now your airspace is that high, I'd imagine. You know, if something flies into it, too bad, so sad.
Well, it's circular around there, so many feet around it. Yep.
Well, you have to get, above a certain height, there's gonna be restrictions. They have to look it up. You probably have to put a light on it at night. Or
You have to have it lit. I think it's anything over 75 feet or 100 feet, you have to have a light.
Right, so 50 feet is okay.
And then if you have guy wires, then that's a different thing.
But in any case, what we're talking about is a few feet above the water or less.
Well, and I hope that he fights it, Justin, because that affects everybody. You know, what I hate is
It wasn't a few feet over private property per se. It was a few feet over a body of water.
body of water. And what bothers me is you get a lot of these gumballs that get a badge, not all of them, but a few, think that they are now Gomer Pyle, you know?
well, the thing is like I said, I've seen videos
Barney Fife.
of drone pilots educating cops on the rules, and some cops will sit there and listen to you and actually take it in and listen to you, and they are taking your words as advice. But then there's some cops out there, when you try to explain it to them, they take it as you're trying to tell them how to do their job, whether you try to tell them respectfully
how
or
you
not.
explain it to them. It's the officer, with all due respect, I understand you're doing a job, and I totally respect you and support what you do here. But I would like to let you know that I'm a trained pilot. Here's even if it's just trust, here's my trust certificate and my registration and this area, and just tell them. So, and then it's all up to the cop, how he acts. What I like about the Horsey Lucy Police Department? I didn't know. I fly over by. It's actually a city-owned preserve. Along where I fly. I like to fly down by the North Fork of the river. So I don't know what the city's stance is on taking off and landing from there. So I asked the cop, and I said, "Can I?" He was sitting there because they sit in the parking lot sometimes by the boat launch. It's a real pretty area. It's the one where I fly along with the boardwalk and everything,
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't care. As far as I know, you can. So go ahead. I mean, that was his attitude, because I didn't look like a terrorist, I guess. I mean, I don't know. He's got worse things to worry about in that park.
Well,
keeping the hoods out at night that are drinking and stuff and breaking.
Well, there was a video I saw too of a guy on YouTube who was being respectful with the cops, and the cop just wasn't having it and ended up arresting the guy. And it ended up the guy got the charges dropped because the cop technically falsely arrested him.
Yeah.
It was the guy that he took his drone from him and everything. And the guy wasn't being disrespectful with the cop at all. He was just trying to explain the rules to him. And the cop was just taking it as, screw you. You're just trying to tell me how to do my damn job. And I'm not listening to it. And overstepped on his powers is pretty much what he did.
Okay, that makes for great YouTube, but 9,995 times out of 1,000, that doesn't happen. Cops don't like making false arrests usually.
Well, a lot of times, like I said, it's the cops. They don't understand the rules and they arrest you thinking that
the police officer does not know the rules, and they're in a situation where that's when they call the supervisor. That's when they're supposed to anyway.
right.
He ran into one that had a problem, and it cost him a day in court, probably. So Unfortunately, there's no recourse. You can't sue the government unless. I
Well,
mean,
not only did it cost him a day in court, Bill, I would imagine that his supervisors and the prosecuting attorney were not real happy with that guy.
which guy?
Like,
The
he
police officer.
lost in court, you know?
What, the cop?
Yeah,
Well, I doubt there was any prosecuting attorney. He wouldn't get that far. You know, he'd show up for a civil hearing and off the,
well, see,
judge-
see,
the judge-
here,
the judge-
even in a civil case here, we have a
but in
district
case, I mean,
attorney
did they actually arrested him?
Yeah, they
What was his
arrested
charge?
him,
they arrested him and took him away in a police car.
and they took his drone from him
Yep.
because the cop just didn't want to hear what he had to
Well, he
say.
said he took his drone from him, but did they arrest him?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
arrested him.
Yeah,
He
put
got
him
his
in
stuff
handcuffs
back.
and put him in the back of the police car.
Yeah, they took him to jail, but he ended up getting his drone back and everything. But
So
yeah,
they used it in jail now?
but yeah, that whole thing with that ticket yesterday, though, that there's no way that can hold up in court. There's just no way. I just don't see how that they would even be able to charge him with anything. And he's definitely, but see, the problem is too, is he's from New Hampshire and it happened in New York. So hopefully he can get it squared away before he even leaves. Because I told him, I said, you should go talk to a supervisor and maybe see if they can go ahead and get it taken off before you take off. So you don't have to come back for it. Otherwise, his only other option is just to suck it up and pay the ticket if he can't, it doesn't have the money to go back to fight it, you know?
Well, it's just a citation, but still, I'd imagine, but still, I think you make a good case. Be good for his channel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
But, and if he can't be there, they could get legal representation there for him.
Yeah, because I just don't see how it could even make it that far. Like I said, I'd be calling some supervisors out there and having that ticket taken off. I mean, I would just go ahead and be at the damn hotel. I would go ahead and just call the non-emergency line and ask for a supervisor to show up. To
Well,
have a
there's your lesson.
conversation.
Don't fly in New York.
Apparently not.
Come to Florida.
Especially if you're an out of towner.
I've never had a cop give me issues. I've had plenty of cops come by me at the parks and stuff while I was
Yeah,
flying.
they usually say, boy, that thing's cool. Where do you get,
Yeah.
what do you, yeah, wow, okay. I
Yeah,
think
you-
it's awesome. I mean,
Like,
it's
I
a
was-
camera for the love of God. It's a flying camera, and the FPVs are also flying cameras. They're just faster and a little more fun as
I
far
was-
as the flying is concerned. You know,
I
they're
was
more-
flying at the park one day and there was a group of guys from the city there, the ones that like the park management. And the supervisor came walking up to me and I was like, oh God, here we go. He's gonna start bitching at me. But no, he was like, oh man, that is so cool. He goes, that's awesome. He goes, what are you filming? I said, I'm flying over the lake over here. He goes, oh, and he was looking at my screen, and everything. He was the supervisor of the park guys, the park and recreation guys. And he didn't have no problem with it. And he
Yeah,
thought
we
at
talked about
first
the
he
last
thought
week, Can I have some of that footage so we could put it on our Facebook page or whatever, or social media to advertise the area?
but he was like,
Oh,
at
you're-
first he asked me, he goes, do you work for the state? I said, no, I'm just out here doing some recreational flying. He goes, oh, that's awesome. And then he started asking me questions and wanted to look at the drone and everything. I brought it in and landed it so he could look at it and everything. He was asking me how much it was and all that.
I'm lucky I got good neighbors here, though. I mean, nobody seems to care. You know,
My
I'm
neighbors
just some
don't
old
either.
guy with some old guy with a toy, so they don't bother. You know, when the first time, I've only flown this thing once, and I was buzzing the rooftops of my own neighborhood. You know, nobody said anything. They don't care. You know what? Yes, I'm spying on all you people who are never in your backyard.
Right. My neighbors have never said anything too. They all just kind of look at it when I'm flying around.
Oh no, they stop. They talk to me, and they actually think it's great. You know, wow,
Yeah.
that thing is really
Well,
cool.
Justin, AZ made a comment in the chat. I just noticed. Was it a ticket or was it a summons?
I mean, it was
Because I guess there's a difference between a ticket and summons. Summons
And
means
summons
appear.
appear in court is mandatory. Where you know, whereas a ticket you can fight the ticket,
yeah,
and then you can appear in court to
you
defend.
can either pay or fight. Yeah, a summons means you got to be there.
Yeah, so I guess it's even worse then. But he told me at first he said it was written up as a traffic violation, traffic citation. So I don't know because his drone doesn't have a license plate. So I don't know how the hell that works.
I don't know.
Unless it was his registration number on the drone.
A motorized vehicle.
I mean,
Piloting motorized vehicles, so
yeah, but even when you get but even when you get a
far reach.
traffic ticket, Bill, don't you get a summons if you want to fight it,
No,
or you can just pay it?
no, that's not a summons.
Okay.
Summons actually sets a time and date and you gotta be there.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that's what they say. If you want to fight the ticket, you got to be there at this date, or you can just pay it, right?
well,
It's kind of
sometimes
an
That's
option.
voluntary.
there are
Yeah.
some tickets that on the back, when they hand you a ticket, they say you have the right to contest
here.
this. And
Yeah,
if you
gotta-
want to
gotta
contest it,
and you need to inform the court that you're gonna
Yeah.
do so.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, though, does Wedge and Big
you ever had a
understand
ticket?
whether maybe he assumes it's a summons? Because maybe on the ticket it does give him a court date if he wants to fight it, or he can pay it beforehand.
Yeah, there's different kinds of tickets. Some of them have a notice of a court date on the back that, that says things like you have 10 days to either pay this ticket or
Be
to
here at
appear.
this time.
Yeah.
So he
Or-
might be thinking it's a summons when it's not. Because like I've got a speeding ticket a couple years ago, and the cop told me, he said, if you want to fight it, you can be at the court at this date at this time, or you can pay it beforehand and you have 90 days to pay it.
Yeah.
But luckily, when I went into the court to pay it, guess what? The cop never put the ticket in the system. And the court clerk was like, this happens all the time. She goes, the cops will get off at a 10, 12-hour shift. They're tired. And sometimes they just pick tickets that they think aren't really that big of a deal, and they won't put them in the system because they'll have to spend 3-4 hours just doing paperwork at the end of their shift, putting all the tickets in the system. And she said it happens all the time. She goes, their duty. She goes, you would be surprised how many people come in here to pay tickets and it's not even in our system. She goes, but don't
Well,
worry
that's
about
not
it.
even, that's not, I mean, sometimes they're busy, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes they can't make it. So maybe something bigger happened and, or you lost
Justin,
it.
did she offer Justin to void it out of the system for you, or did she just say,
No, she said, well, I asked her, I said, I said, I'm really nervous, because it's not in there. I said, what happens if it pops in there and then I don't know about it?
Right.
And then they come and arrest me or something for not paying it. And she was like, don't worry about it. She goes, if it pops in there, she goes, we will contact you. I'll put all your information in the computer. If it ever comes in, we'll contact you. You won't be in trouble. You just come in and pay it and you'll be good. So she put all my information in the computer. So they had it. Like she made like a file for me. And then she said, if it happens to pop in,
Well,
but
what I
that's
would
2 years ago.
what I would have done is had something that showed that you appeared that day.
that
You
you
know,
were
Well, that's
there?
what it was. She did a whole file for me. And
Did
put my
she give you a
information in there.
copy of it?
No, she put it in the computer saying that I showed
I
up.
understand,
I
but
know, I
you're
would've
trusting
asked for a printed
computer.
copy. I don't
Yeah,
trust
but like I
anything.
said, that was 2 years ago, so I've never gotten a call from him. So, but she had,
They're coming for you, Justin.
but that's what she said. She said sometimes the cops will just, if they don't want to, deal with a ticket that's kind of minor and they don't feel like it's a big deal at the end of the day, sometimes they just decide not to put
Well,
it in.
here in our state, if you appear there and you run into a situation like that, there's a receipt for appearance that they can give you that has a date and time that you appeared here in reference to blah blah blah, and they hand it to you.
Here's something interesting. When I was 18, it was still legal to drink in New Jersey, but I was going to college in Pennsylvania. So we would gather up and go meet our friends in New Jersey, and go out, it's kind of a thing. Now I was nowhere near where I was from at this point. We were down in South Florida because our friend lived in Margate.
It's possible. Though.
I mean, I grew up in North Jersey. I was born in, never mind, who cares? Anyway, we were there and we weren't just drinking, we were drinking and driving. And we were running around, and there was a 5 inches of snow fell that night, so we're right in the middle of a snowstorm, drinking and partying and like that. There weren't much of a chance of hitting other drivers because nobody is stupid enough to be on the road. And we all decided, hey, he's got a station wagon. It was like 6, 7, 8 of us, whatever it was. I said, let's all go in his car, so we all decided we pull into this parking lot. Right? So we get out and we're pissing, in this parking lot. And it's the middle of the night. It's dark out. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not like anybody can see it, but we're pissing. We open the car door and a whole bunch of empty beer cans fell out of the car, and the one guy starts trying to pee on, chasing me around with his dick out, trying to piss on me. Anyway, the whole time there are 2 squad cars sitting in the parking lot, maybe 100 feet away. We didn't even notice. Just sitting there, what the hell are these morons? And they're watching this, and all of a sudden, boom, the lights come on. Shit. And the ringleader goes, make believe you don't see them. Get the car. That didn't work. Okay, smart ass, get out of the car. So anyway, needless to say, it ruined our night. We got arrested. We got fingerprinted and all that good stuff. Went down there, and we were just kids. They let us go and give us a date. So we showed up for the date, and I pled not guilty, thank God, and so did most of us. One guy pled guilty just because he actually retained a lawyer. We said, you want to, you don't want to piss them off. You want to reduce this to as little as possible, and da 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 da. So guess what happens? The cop couldn't make the hearing, so we all got
Case
off,
dismissed. Yep.
except the ones that pled guilty. The ones that pled guilty, it's on his record to this day for drunk. It's not a major thing. It's just drunk and disorderly in public. They didn't get us for drunk and driving. He didn't write any of that stuff up.
Well, Bill, I'm of an era when we used to go out and screw up out in town. And if you happen to run into the police would take your information. They say, get your ass home because I'm going to be telling your parents what's going on here.
Yeah, or they take your keys, park the car, they drop you off.
Yep. Yep.
You got to go get it the next day.
Go get the car and make sure you bring your father, or your mother or whatever.
Yeah, but none of us lived in that area, well, one or two did, one did. We didn't, so they couldn't really do that, you know what I mean?
Or I remember I had friends of mine, they were, 16, 17 years old, and they had maybe a 6-pack with 4 people in the car. And the cop says, everybody out of the car. He hands everybody the beers and he says, okay, dump them out. And he made them dump them out on the curb.
Crying.
Get your ass home, he said.
We were drinking legally, but, as age-wise, just not intent-wise.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that there was actually 2 officers, but the one, he was brand new, it was like his first week in a squad car. So the other officer is the one that wrote it up. The one that wrote it, the other officer, the new one, he was there, but he can't, he's like a witness, you know what I mean? He's not the arresting officer.
Yeah.
So that didn't count. So they let us go, which was pretty cool. The guy, and then the judge like, you're all lucky. This could have been serious and been on a record for the rest of your life. And by the way, you didn't plead guilty. Come here. And that's it. He didn't go to jail or anything, but he's got that on his record, which is interesting. So that's how that happened. And the ringleader, by the way, had a record. That's why he retained a lawyer. It was his lawyer that suggested that we plead.
Oh, so he had a previous run-in.
Yeah, he's had several, and then but that's why they did what they did, because they, because they got you dead to rights. I don't know how you can plead not guilty. They said, I don't know. It can be our word against his, so on and so forth.
A lot of
But
dumb people.
I wasn't driving, so the ones who were driving, I think, did have a second charge on them. The ones who had cars, I was just a passenger.
Sometimes
But, like I said, that was that.
Sometimes I think shit like that though, like if you got something like that on your record, something that's not super serious, and 20
Depends on the
years have
job.
gone by and you haven't done anything or been in trouble, I think those kind of things should drop off.
Depends on the job, arrested is arrested, it shows that, how you act in public,
Right.
I was 18 or 19, but I've had jobs where I had to have, clearance, working in the prison system and like that, and it didn't turn up, so that's good. Now, if you're gonna get a TS clearance with the government, you're gonna run for politics, run for office, you were drinking in college.
Oh yeah, they do that vetting on you.
Yeah, they do that now. Unbelievable. Try to destroy a guy. got people's careers that have been, that had a spotless career all their lives. They go all the way back to college and how they acted then. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they do that vetting program where they go back and they'll talk to friends and old friends that you ain't talked to in 20 years. They'll go back and talk to all kinds of people trying to
You
find
got a
everything.
guy that's been a lawyer or a
Gotcha.
judge or whatever for 20, 30 years, and you're going back to his crazy days in college. That's just a problem. I mean, that's just stupid. Brett
Well, just-
Kavanaugh is what I'm talking about, by the way.
Well, it's like ex-felons, right? Like my uncle went to prison back in the early 90s for he had a meth lab in his house, right? He went into jail. He did 8 years in prison, got out, and has done nothing since then. Has been a model citizen. He started working for my dad. He quit smoking, drinking. He doesn't do anything anymore. And like I said, my uncle if you were to talk to him today, you would never think he was ever in any of that. You know what I'm saying? I think if 20 years go by and you were a felon, I think you should get some rights back. If you've been a model citizen, you've had a really good job, you've been doing what you need to do. I think at a certain time frame, I think that should be reconsidered.
Well, what rights does he not have?
Like he can't possess a firearm, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think don't you lose your right to vote too as well?
A felony, yeah, you
No,
can't vote.
you get it. They've changed the laws on that.
You have to go and try and get that portion reversed.
But see, like, I think certain things like that should be not, like I said, because if you talk to my uncle today, you know, he's a manager for a tow company, managing, you know, a couple hundred tow trucks for another company.
So he steals cars.
But like I said, though, he's been a model citizen ever since he's been out. Really good person, you know. He'll give the shirt off his
I
back
think
to
they've
you.
started restoring rights to felons that have done their time once they get out. As far
Good
as
morning, Curtis.
voting is concerned, and as far as the weapon charge, or the weapon, you know what? The government's not in a big hurry to give people their weapons back. You know, they're trying to take them away. So unfortunately, they may stay the way it is.
I'm gonna call it a night.
Yeah,
so-
All
okay.
right, Dominic.
All right, Dominic.
What's up,
All
Curtis?
right.
Yeah, I think
So-
we're probably not going to be on too much longer.
Yeah. Okay. See
We're
you
down.
soon.
We're down to 7, 8 people watching.
Okay.
All right, Dominic, have a good one, buddy.
See you in my morning, which is your night.
Yep. Oh, here it comes, Ron.
Oh, and I'm just about to leave. Okay. Oh, good night. Good morning, all. Good night, all.
Good night,
see you.
Dominic.
Bye bye.
Hey, Ron.
Ron, were you headed to
Ron.
work?
No, heading out.
Oh,
The luxurious apartment, you know, with the torn up couch.
yeah. I thought they were going to replace that.
They were supposed to. I haven't seen it happen yet. Oh, we're supposed to get new carpeting and replace the door that has mold in it. And oh god,
Don't you love how companies that have money that could fix shit in an instant take forever
Yeah.
doing anything?
oh yeah, yeah,
But if
yeah.
it-
Well, companies like that typically have budgets for stuff like that, and sometimes you end up having to wait for the either a quarter or a fiscal year to pass before they release more funds for things like that.
Yeah. How is everyone today?
Good.
It's kind of a chilly, kind of dark day here in Michigan, but
Hot here.
Hot and humid here in Florida.
Imagine that.
Arizona, I guess it's hot too. Marshall was saying.
Oh, it's
hot
there.
there,
You go. Shit, call the paper.
Hey, Paul Murray, guess what?
What's that?
Now, 2 weekends from now, I head to Salt Lake, you know, to fly out to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call from somebody yesterday that said, when are you going to Salt Lake? And I said, 2 weekends from now. And they said, would you like to meet up for a couple days? So I'm actually I talked to my supervisor yesterday, who's actually going to work one of my shifts for me, and I'm leaving early, but I'm going to go to Salt Lake and spend a couple days with Michonne next for 2 weekends. from now.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's my happy face.
yeah.
I thought she was in California.
She is.
Uh,
She's either gonna drive or fly out.
Oh,
But we're
okay.
gonna meet, we'll spend the day on the 28th and 29th. And I mean, it'll be short and quick, but.
Well, it's
Is that what you're gonna tell her? Is that what
Stop
you're
that,
gonna,
Bill.
is that
That's
what you're gonna
funny.
tell her?
That's hilarious, Ron.
I was thinking the same thing when he said that.
Short
Yeah,
and
let me,
quick.
let me back up a minute.
Ah,
Bill said it, not me.
I saw Bill's face. He didn't have to say anything.
Why, it's a good thing, Ron, the other waitress isn't going with you.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me rephrase that. The visit will be short. Does that sound better, Bill?
No.
No.
I was gonna say, well, that goes without saying.
I don't think you can climb out of that hole other than you hold up the blue pill bottle, you know?
Yeah. There's one place we want to go to that we didn't get to go to last time. It's out in it's about 10-15 miles outside of town. There is this really neat hot springs. It's underground, and you go down into this cave, and I forget what this water temperature is. It's like 90 some degrees, but it's really super cool.
Paul, I gotta jump off.
Okay, Justin, take
I'll see
care.
you guys later.
See you, Justin.
Yeah. Have you ever been spelunking?
Spelunking, not me.
How about you, Ron?
Heard of what?
Have you ever
Spelunking,
been spelunking?
Spelunking? No, I have not.
It's cave climbing.
cave climbers.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. You go into caves and
explore.
go find underground caverns and little bodies of water under the ground and like that. In Pennsylvania, there's some good spelunking caves. And back when I wasn't big enough to block the entrance, we used to do that. And
Is that up near Scranton, Bill?
No, that's the area I lived in, but that's not where the caves were. I for the life of me, I can't remember. I'll have to reach out to a friend. We're talking about 30 years ago. More, actually, more than 30, maybe 35. 34.
Bill, do you remember, was it north, south, east, or west of Scranton, or what?
South, somewhere southeast, south, or it's just south. Because Scranton's pretty east, actually. But I can't recall. But it was in the eastern part of the state. We didn't have to drive that far. But there was maybe down by the Allentown area. I'd have to find out. But there were some very cool caves to go hit up, and the entrance was pretty, would make you nervous at first because you're literally there's a section, and even though I was thin back then, and I was probably 200 pounds, 210 pounds, I still had to shimmy for a long period. So if you're claustrophobic, don't even do this, because you had a
Crawl
first
space.
went in, there was like a little antechamber. So, okay, you could sit up in here, big deal. We just got in here. And then you had to go through another small opening. And then for a while, you were just basically shimmying, to get through between these pieces of rock. But then once you made it to the other side, it would open up and there was different caverns. There was water underneath there. So we went around and we had these little, we actually brought a box of candles and they went around, they lit them all so you could see the actual, because we had flashlights, but that's not as cool as actually lighting it all up from the outer perimeter of it.
Yeah.
But it was neat. It was neat.
If you'd like to do that, Bill, I'll tell you, out here in the Black Hills, there's so many, they say, miles of caves that they have unexplored. The one I tried to get my buddies to go to last weekend, it's called Wind Cave. I actually did a rescue down there a couple of weeks ago, but at the entrance, the entrance of the cave, depending on what the current barometric pressure is, when you stand at the entrance, is how hard the wind comes out of there. But they said that particular section of cave, they've explored up to 169 miles.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I would do that anymore. And besides, you know, my circumference has increased quite a bit since then. You know, I'd probably get stuck in that wind cave. The pressure would build out. It'd shoot me like a cannon to Wisconsin.
Like a cork.
So I don't know. I mean, not that I wouldn't do it, but unfortunately, the kind of caves that I would probably feel comfortable climbing down into are big enough for bears to be in there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
got them too.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Bears and snakes too, right, Ron?
Yeah, exactly. Bears, snakes, what a nasty critters we got here. Of course, you guys got your nasty critters down here in Florida.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got 'em.
Gators.
Yeah, look here. There's two right here. Okay, don't be scared now. There they are. Look at that. They'll just lick your face right off. Hey, don't kid yourself. If I died here, they would chew my face off.
Mm.
They're
Trying to
like,
wake
you know,
you up. Yep.
Bill, that's like, you know, I'd like to go down to the Everglades down there next time in Florida, but man, with all the nasty snakes and well, they got the pythons down there and all the alligators and
You know, like pythons and boas and like that, a lot of them aren't really from Florida. You know, they've been let in the wild, pets and like that, and they've grown, unfortunately.
Let them loose. Yep.
Yeah, there's actually hunting seasons for a lot of them. That's like coyotes. We have coyotes here, but they're not from Florida either. They brought them here for hunting purposes, and they escaped into the wild, and then we ended up with coyotes. Coyotes weren't here because we had wolves, but since
yeah,
the wolf population was cut down by humans, they don't have as much of a natural enemy here. You know, it's not like alligators are chasing coyotes, but
yeah, you got wolves in Florida?
used to, yeah. No, they've been pretty much they've migrated. They've left. I read a little history on this, because people are occasionally seeing coyotes in Port St. Lucie, you know, and they're worried about their pets at night and this and that, and some, you know, of course, you got the huggers, you know, leave them alone. We've encroached on their land and you know, they want to hug the coyotes. And so I looked it up, and because somebody said they're not from here. So I looked it up, and they're not. In the 20s, last century, they were brought here in different large tracts of land, and it was a hunting thing, you know, and yeah, and obviously a lot of them got off and escaped, and they've populated ever since, you know, because there's you know, it's not like we have panthers. You know, there's a Florida panther, which is just a big cat. They're not, you know, you don't see very many of them anymore either. And in fact, I've never seen one. I don't even see fox, really. I mean, I know they're here, but I don't even see them. We have deer, we have fox, we have all this good stuff, but they don't encroach humans, you know, and come into the property like the coyotes do sometimes, you know. And people's cats will disappear. People's dogs will end up with mystery injuries, you know, if they're actually a yard dog. But you know, another dog is not a food source for a coyote typically, so that doesn't really happen a real lot, you know. But my dogs might be, you know, food source. Oh, Chinese dogs. Don't bother. You'll be hungry in an hour. But yeah, no, they're not from here. And yes, there were wolves, and I think there is still a small population of wolves somewhere, but you'll never see them, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like something else that was interesting. I didn't know we had crocodiles. We have alligators. Most of them are alligators, but yeah, we got crocs in the southern tip, you know, all the way down this, you know, southern tip. And they're aggressive. See, alligators will pretty much ignore you for the most part, you know, but crocodiles are much more aggressive.
You know, there's a guy down your way, Bill. What's his channel? Trail. Look him up on YouTube. Trail Camera Pickup. But he goes to the Everglades. He's not far from the Everglades, but he goes down there and he leaves his cameras out for weeks at a time. Then he goes back and he collects all the best footage, and he gets deer. I guess what you guys call panthers, raccoons, bears, turkey. There's like every critter possible in the Everglades. I didn't realize there was that many critters there.
Yeah, no, they're definitely there. Yeah. I mean, I don't live near there. I mean, Maddie's closer to the Everglades than I am. I'm south, but I'm north of that, to the east and to the east. But someday I'm gonna go there and check all that out and try not to get, eaten.
Eating. That's
But,
like
I have yet to see an alligator personally in the wild. You know what I mean? I besides going on an airboat ride and actually going and looking for them in the lakes, but even in that case, we saw like they grow about a foot a year. A 4 foot is like 4 years old. And that's
Really?
what I saw. Yeah.
Wow. I was with Tony, Tony Tropic, 2 years ago down at the Florida Drone Meetup, and we went to some, I don't know, wildlife preserve or whatever, and he was showing me like I guess they call them sliding boards. You can see the slides where the alligators go into the different little lakes and stuff. And I'm standing there and I found a small one. He was about a 2-3 footer, and he goes, "Ron, just watch your back." Sure as hell, there was I think it was a mama was coming up from the side, and she was eyeing me up. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And yeah, you got to watch. So I didn't realize they could move as fast on ground as they can. The alligators can boogie.
Yeah, they can boogie. And that's when it's like, see you later, alligator. Come caught.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can skitter, but they typically, again, they don't consider us a food source for the most part, so they stay away. We're kind of large. And I mean, not that they're afraid of us, because I don't think they are, but if it could put up a good enough fight, it's not worth it. There's plenty of other prey out there that doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but you that's what I mean. If you go to places that are known for that and that's where they are, you can see them. But I've never done that except for, like I said, one airboat ride, and it was kind of disappointing because we saw very little that day, just for whatever reason. So maybe 2 or 3, and the biggest one might have been 4 foot, maybe.
Really? Wow.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it. Ron, I wish we could stay there for your whole ride, but we're down to 3 people watching. And
Well, I've got a 30-second ride to the apartment.
okay. All right, everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. Bill, take care, my friend. You're on tonight, right?
Giving away that gimbal tonight.
Giving away a gimbal tonight, and at 3:00 today Eastern time is Little Llama Laura's game.
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay, Ron, take care. Everybody in the chat, AZ. We'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
See you guys.